Thank you for watching Hidden Hand. I'm about to tell you something that no one else on YouTube will probably tell you, and that is turn your notifications off. Turn them off, and I'm about to explain why. Turn off your notifications on Facebook, YouTube, everything, because this is how they program our thoughts. I'm about to read you an article that will explain it a little bit. Tristan Harris, what your notifications do to your brain and what to do about it. Every time you look at your phone, it is not just you and the screen that are involved. Thousands of Silicon Valley engineers and behavioral scientists are working behind the scenes to make you scroll for as long as possible, says Tristan Harris, founder of Time Well Spent, a group that aims to recalibrate our relationship with technology. He would know. After graduating from Stanford University, Harris sold his startup to Google, where he stayed for 4 years, using his position as a design ethicist to urge the company to give more respect to users' attention, as attested by the number of people staring at their phones all the time, and the fact that the combined market cap of Facebook, Google, and Apple approaches $2 trillion. Tech companies have become extremely good at manipulating our attention. There are literally thousands of intelligent people being paid extremely well to figure out how to get users to never put their phones down. A lot of this has to do with exploiting key human needs, like the longing for connection and validation, says Harris. It is that sensation of wishing your last social media post got more likes. Facebook owns my sense of approval right now, he says. But as these simple recommendations from Harris show, it is possible to set better boundaries with your phone and get more of your attention back. While small, these tweaks work with your mental habits rather than allowing software to exploit them. Step 1. De-automate your apps. We are not as in charge of ourselves as we'd like to think. About 40% of our daily actions aren't actually decisions we make, but habitual behaviors. So if you want to manage your relationship with your phone, start by breaking your touchscreen habits. Harris scrambles the placement of his apps on his phone screen once a week so that his thumb doesn't automatically open up Twitter when he thought about it. He'd really rather not spend his time scrolling through all that endless chatter. Changing the arrangement of your apps can diffuse your brain's habit loop. Similarly, you can move your biggest time sucks off the home screen, forcing you to use the phone's search function to summon those apps. You can't type unconsciously, he says, having to search servers as a filter between me and my phone, one that only works when you consciously ask it to. Step 2. Minimize the ambiguity. If you want to know why so many people's faces are glued to their phones, consider another great behavioral addiction: slot machines. They make more money in the United States than baseball, movies, and theme parks combined, Harris says, and are 3 to 4 times more problematic than other kinds of gambling, like smartphones. Their key ingredient is the variable reward. You press a button or pull a lever, and that either brings a small reward, a jackpot, or nothing at all. We don't know which it will be, and the thing that keeps us coming back is the possibility that the next one will hit. If the slot machine in your pocket sounds or feels the same whether it is push notification about the latest thing Donald Trump did, a software update for an app, or an urgent text from a loved one. Then you'll be more compelled to drive in every time your lock screen lights up. Thus, there is a need to make your phone signal clearer and less random. Ambiguity creates curiosity, Harris says. So, the way to take back control is to tailor your signals, a special buzz or tone for your partner's phone or family phone, another for friends, and others for news or social media. That way, without even having to look, you know what's asking for your attention. That's a good one. Step 3, cut out the machines. When you get a buzz saying that 50 people liked your last Instagram, that's not some innocent message, Harris says. An algorithm profiled your behavior with the app and sent that notification at the exact time when research showed you'd be most vulnerable. That's why Harris set his phone to ping him only from WhatsApp, iMessage, and other messaging services. Instances where actual humans are on the other side requesting his attention. Any notification coming from machines are turned off. When we do this, a larger dehabituation happens, minimizing buzzes, helping others' mind get back control of itself. Harris says, since the more your phone buzzes, the more you'll expect it to buzz. The less frequently your pocket's buzzing, the less our mind starts to feel those phantom buzzes in our pocket. And the calmer we get, he says, hopefully, that helps you get back some control of your attention. I had to go ahead and read you this article too. This is what I was looking for. Can the internet affect neuroplasticity? 5 ways social media changes your brain. Social media 20 years ago, it was hardly a thing. Now it would seem it is everything. At least to 1/3 of the general population, the global population, who use social media regularly. That is approximately 2.5 billion people. How did something that barely existed a mere 2 decades ago become so fundamentally integrated into our lives? Numerous studies on the social media effects of the brain may suggest some excellent reasons for the widespread social overhaul. One of the primary indicators is that addiction to the internet is actually a quickly spreading global mental health concern. While it is a psychological addiction, brain scans of people using social media show impairment in the same regions as those affected by substance addiction. Addiction to the internet may be psychological, but that it shows psychological indicators within the human brain is of distressing concern to mental health professionals around the world. It is estimated that 5 to 10% of internet users actually cannot stop their online use of their own accord. Multitasking is another problematic indicator of social media's interference with our brains. The prevailing notion that multitaskers can get more done switching between work and websites needs to be shut down. Multiple studies, such as this one, have shown that not only is the opposite true, but multitasking can actually be harmful to normal brain function. Multitasking actually lowers our ability to block out interference and therefore our capacity to concentrate on a single task. Furthermore, mounting evidence points to multitasking actually inhibiting memory function. Another rather interesting trend that shows the definitive impact of social media on the brain is phantom vibration syndrome. While this might sound like a rejected title for the next Star Wars film, phantom vibration syndrome is a real physiological reaction some people have when they think their phone is vibrating, but it isn't.
Phantom vibration syndrome demonstrates our body's rapid assimilation of a trigger that isn't even actually there. Phantom vibration syndrome, not surprisingly, occurs commonly among young adults. One of the greatest indicators of social media's interference of our brains, though, is the measurable increase in the release of dopamine by our brains in response to social media stimulation. Social media creates an almost entirely egocentric culture, and everything about the culture just continues to feed it. In conversation with other people, we are likely to talk about ourselves 30 to 40% of the time, whereas when we're using social media websites, that number goes up to 80%. Add in constant stimulation in the forms of likes, followers, shares, comments, and the dopamine just keeps increasing until we're drowning in a sea of feel-good hormones generated entirely by our own egocentric internet culture. It is not all bad news, though. One surprising way that social media has been found to actually foster better relationships between humans is within intimate partnerships. Partners who met online before they met in real life statistically have a better chance of a successful relationship. Theories abound as to why, and probably it has something to do with the comfort of controlled anonymity and the ability to set expectations more realistically, and without the involvement of your pitter-pattering heart as you gaze into your blind date turned possible future partner's eyes. Rather interesting, isn't it, that given all the ways social media tends to distance us from each other, the most important relationships of our lives can actually be more effectively fostered through internet connections. See what I did there? It was certainly seen that social media is going to be a part of our lives for a while, and the recent trend of some celebrities dumping their Instagram and Twitter and Facebook accounts is rather interesting to watch evolve. We are betting that while they might miss the constant feeding off their ego, they are probably enjoying the respite to catch up with some of the people in their lives outside of themselves. Certainly, this seems to be a trend we can admire in our posts and in our tweets and our hashtags.
And I'm not trying to tell you all how to live your life or anything like that. It's just a suggestion, you know? And I don't have any of my notifications on. That's why sometimes I might not answer back to y'all as quickly as possible, but I'm on YouTube a lot, so that's why I do answer back a lot. It's not because I get the notification. I get emails. I go look at my email, and that's how I get notifications. But I have to actively go and look. I don't get push notifications on my phone except for Facebook Messenger, and I can't get those to stop for some reason. And I need them anyways because that's how I mainly communicate with my girlfriend. So that's the only thing that push notificates me, and maybe text messages. I keep my phone on nighttime mode, so I don't even get phone calls most of the time. But other than that, if you turn your notifications off, your life will be a lot better. It'll be more peaceful. You won't be sitting there waiting on your phone to ping you. That's basically all it is. You have to be more. You have to use your mind more to think about using your phone instead of it just being something that you actively do throughout your day. And thank you all for being here with me. One love, one vibration. Thank you for watching Hidden Hand.